enthusiasts. I hope y'all are having a good day because I am. I watched another episode of Plus Size Adventure. Again, I'm smiling ear to ear and I am very intrigued by the character development and the story that is unfurling. There is yet another story that is going on. Not only is Yumiko dealing with her amnesia and the possible attempted murder mystery, there's also an affair going on. Ooh, but Yumiko's not involved. She's okay. It's just some other things that's going on. Also, Tamai has a lot more character to her than I thought. She's not as villainous as I thought. There's actually a meaning behind her actions. But before we get onto that, let me just start with a quick shout out to the people that have commented on the first episode. Hi, how are you? All of us are, pleasantly surprised by the notion that the anime is on and everything that is done. And so far, it continues to, surprise me. And I'm excited for the ride. And I hope all of you that have commented and probably watching, you're coming along for the ride as well. And if it's your first time, on this ride, hi, how are you? Buckle up. Let's go. So at the end of the first episode and the beginning of the second, it starts off the same way. Yumiko's idea notebooks are missing. Unfortunately, at the same time, the chief comes in and says, hey, Yumiko, get ready for your pitch. It's going to be at 4 o'clock. And Yumiko looks at the clock and it's 11. So she has 5 hours to find her notebooks. But we already know who took her notebooks. It was Tamai. And we see a scene of her locking the notebooks away in the locker. And lo and behold, the chief rolls up, but not suspecting her or anything. He tells her, hey, Yumiko's pitch idea, you go help Yumiko with her pitch, get her the materials, and support her in this because this is her first time doing this. And she's already lost her memory, so you're a good fit. And Tamai looks very meek in this scene. Of course, she got a little surprised as if she got caught, but also at the same time, it's very meek that she is in the supportive role and not the one who is going to be making the pitch. She's looking very inferior. And then out of nowhere, well, not out of nowhere, but she kind of confronts her meekness and asks the chief, hey, so why haven't first she asks, hey, why go with Yumiko's idea when she just got back? And chief goes well, we haven't had a hit product in a while, and why not take a shot on an eccentric idea like Yumiko's? And by the way, Tamai, you're the one who actually also supported it as well. So we're going with the idea. And Tamai just asked a follow-up question. It was what about my ideas? Have you considered any of them? And the chief, being a good business man he is, being a good direct supervisor, being a good boss, bluntly states that your ideas are generic. They left no impression. And I'm pretty sure that upper management would agree. And that shook her to their core. She's like, yeah, I understand. I was no. Tamai wasn't doing it. She probably was putting forth effort. But if the chief had for this long time just been rejecting her ideas, something must be going on with Tamai. And so the scene then breaks to Yumiko still looking for her notebooks, asking everybody, and everybody's just having a conversation of why would somebody take her notebooks. And Tamai overhears the conversation and she felt even more weak and just dipped. Somebody said, why would anyone want to take your notebooks if somebody was in the office? And if it was somebody in the office who took your notebooks, I wouldn't work with them anymore. And that broke Tamai and it made her disappear. And so time moves on and it gets closer to the pitch time, and Tamai is still missing. Everybody's asking, where is she? Or Tamai, can you do this? To Tamai, can you do that? But she's no longer there. And everybody's wondering, where is Tamai? You know, they need her and they need her help. And the chief just, speaks aloud. It's like, oh, well, I told her that her ideas were generic and bland and they left no impression. And he just walks away. And Yumiko, hearing that, decides to, search for Tamai, thinking that putting 2 and 2 together, like my idea notebooks are missing, Tamai is missing, what the chief said, something must be up with Tamai. I need to go find her. And so she goes out to find her. And she goes to the park. Seemingly, this park is going to be like a nice meeting place for everyone. And Yumiko finds Tamai there sitting on the bench with a bag. And the bag has the idea notebooks inside. And Tamai and Yumiko get to talking. And Tamai is really expecting Yumiko to berate her and talk bad about her and demean her for her actions, because she just outright comes out and says like, you're looking for your notebooks. Well, here they are right here. And Yumiko's like, oh, you found my notebooks, thank you. And it's so out of left field. It's like Yumiko's not even thinking negatively. The only thing on her mind is positivity. It's like, I found you, Tamai. Oh, you found my notebooks. Yay. I was like, Tamai, let's go back. And then Tamai's like, Yumiko's like, Tamai, what's wrong? And Tamai just lets it all out. She explains herself. Like, she's not so villain. She felt defeated. She felt weak. She felt inferior to Yumiko. She's been working at the company for 2 years. And not a single idea she pitched got accepted or taken. And while the old Yumiko was there, while she was working with the old Yumiko, she felt that there was somebody else in that same boat, someone who was, weak and inferior. And that made Tamai, who was also weak, just a little bit, better, that there's someone else in the same boat as her, someone else who is lower than her, that if someone was just lower than her and she knows it and she can be around them, she herself can feel better, while everyone else is saying, oh, Tamai, you look beautiful. Oh, Tamai, can you help me out with this? And while they're not bothering with Yumiko, Tamai has somebody that she can say that I am better than this person. Probably not to that same degree, but it's the fact that Tamai needed somebody who was even more inferior than what she already perceived herself to be. That made her feel better. But when Yumiko turns into positive Yumiko and had her idea being accepted for the pitch, Tamai just lost all reason for her to be her fake strong self. And so Tamai now starts demeaning herself and saying negative things about her. But here comes Yumiko with the positivity, breaking it away, saying, Tamai, you actually have worth in you. There's a reason why all the people back there have been like asking for you, asking for your help. Sure, you might not have gotten a single idea through, but you're great in your supportive role. You're good at getting materials. You're good at helping out. There are so many other things that you can do. Sure, your idea can't get through, but there's a million other things that you can do that make you who you are. Just instilling that confidence and showing Tamai that there is another side of her that she's not seeing and perceiving. And while on the way back, Tamai is, sobbing and tearing up, and, they made a genuine friendly connection. And so Tamai has turned over a new leaf. But when they get back, it's about only a couple more hours before the executives come, and Tamai in her new reformed self goes crazy with helping Yumiko get ready. And the presentation starts. Well, not the presentation starts just yet. The executives show up. Part of the executives, excuse me, is the vice president and the president. And the vice president is the guy who the old Yumiko took a whole bunch of pictures of in the park, and who she amnesically likes. And while he notices Yumiko, he's not the smiling guy in the park. He's now in business mode. He's acting like the vice president. And Yumiko's like, oh no, did I do something wrong? No, Yumiko, you're fine. It's just that, there's a time and a place for everything. This is work hours time. It's time to be serious. It's time for business. And Yumiko presents the idea, and the VP, the guy, he tries it, and he says the idea was fresh and interesting, but the flavoring and the visual impact is lacking impact. It's lacking it's lackluster. And while Yumiko, any average person would be like down at that point, Yumiko latches on the positivity of the fresh idea, runs with it, and it makes the VP laugh through her excessive and infectious positivity. So much so that she gets 2 days to come up with improvements. So that night, Yumiko and Tamai celebrate at a yakitori place. And while they're talking, we finally get a reason to see why. I didn't say this before, but before the presentation, when the VP and our chief, cross, the VP's nice, he bows, he says hello, but our chief, cold shoulder, man, just moves past. Like there's like some kind of like bad blood that's going on. So Tamai gives us the details. The long and short of it is that the VP and the president, they're not related by blood, but the president has a daughter. Our chief and the president's daughter, they're married, but the president, instead of choosing our chief to be the next VP because he's older and has experience, he chose the current guy, the young guy, as the VP. And you're probably wondering, well, why is that? Well, there's a rumor going on that there's an affair between the young current VP and the president's daughter. Workplace love drama affair in my anime. I like it. So it's all alleged, but there's all like it's a rumor, but it's also alleged that the wife, the president's daughter and the chief, the wife fell in love with the chief, and she asked her dad, the president, to promote some general employee instead of the chief, which would be the new young VP. That's probably like a spite kind of thing. We don't know anything for sure. There's no hardcore details, but the one thing that we all know for sure is that our chief and the wife, they're separated. Guaranteed, that's the truth. And while Yumiko is hearing that, she's having trouble thinking, like, is the guy from the park and the VP, are they truly the same thing? Is he actually having an affair with the president's daughter? Because, she's having trouble seeing like the nice guy in the park and the serious guy in the meeting. Next day, she doesn't find the VP guy in the park. But she finds him walking away from the planning division office, and we see that there's like this box on Yumiko's desk, and they probably thinking, oh, it's a gift. And the gift was ramen soda. Reason being is because during the pitch, while Yumiko was going off about positivity after her idea got rejected, she mentioned, she liked ramen. So the VP guy got her soda. Cute. And while the people are like grabbing a soda bottle, one of them has an accident with it, and that accident sparks an idea in Yumiko. So Yumiko and Tamai go through an experimentation montage, and they make improvements on the idea. Presentation happens. The VP tries it. He likes the idea, is excited, and they move on. And he says, move the idea to production. So after the meeting, Yumiko catches up with the VP, and the dude's not being so serious. You know, he's happy, he's smiling. He said, "Yeah, I got you that ramen. I had to go through like 5 different places in order to find it." And you know, he's being himself. And at the end, he says he thanks Yumiko that her bright personality, the optimism made him want to root for her, and her heart throbs, and you know, they're both of them sharing their cute moments. And while he leaves, he says, "I'll see you at the park later." So yeah, Yumiko's gonna see him again, and after she like settled down after meeting him, some creepy old dude rolls up to Yumiko and says, "Hey, I was waiting for you, but I gave up. Now I came to the office to see you myself." And the episode ends. I'm thinking this guy is like the detective that's looking into the attempted murder for Yumiko, but we'll see what happens with that in the next episode. But until then, that's the end of this episode. I'm thoroughly impressed and excited for what's to come next, to be honest. I mean, really nice to see Tamai overcome her inferiority complex, and it's nice to see the reasoning behind her actions. It's not as malicious. Well, it is bad in like in a workplace environment of like throwing somebody underneath a bus in order to make you feel better, in order to make you feel accepted, like you have a place despite everything else that you do. You know, it's all about seeing and knowing what your worth is and how good you are and how others can kind of like depend on you, that sort of thing. So it's nice that Tamai, my favorite character, has her little glow up, and now she's in Yumiko's camp, supporting her and helping her get through the days. And now with this new mystery of this so-called love triangle between the VP, the chief, and the president's daughter, we'll see how much more that's going on. But Yumiko's gonna throw herself into there, so there's gonna be a lot of romantic drama that's gonna be happening, and I'm all here for it. I'm ready to lean back in my chair, grab me a popcorn, and see if Yumiko can get the VP of her dreams. But with that, y'all comment Y'all comment down below what y'all think of the episode and what you all would like to see in the next few episodes, and so on and so forth. Subscribe if you want to subscribe, and all that good YouTube jazz. With that, I hope y'all have a good day, night, evening, morning, wherever you all are, and I hope you all have just a better day. And just like Yumiko, think positive, and all of you are worth something. You just gotta switch your mind onto the positive side, just like Yumiko. With that, y'all take care, and I'll see y'all in the next episode. Peace.